Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien here on the morning of Wednesday, May 12th, 2022. And today's commentary is on the European Alliance report of August 31st, 2064. And as far as the then defunct United States of America, you were just basically a bunch of squabbling little entities that covered most of what used to be the United States at the time, with dangerous weapons too, just like Russia. I mean, you had your pro this and con this, your leftists and your rightists controlled different parts of what used to be the United States, okay? It's a disaster, to make it a point. Wars all over the place. It's nothing like the United States you remember here, okay? But according to the report of August 31st, 2064, the demise of the United States of America was due, in fact, to nothingness. And let me explain how the report put this. The United States in the early 2020s, 2022, 2024, had issues that had mounted up over the decades, which they didn't do anything about. They kicked the can onto the road, and, well, the road stopped. And all the cans came to roost. And they named 5 items. Number 1, the immigration situation came to roost big time. Number 2, the COVID-19 situation. That also came to roost. Number 3, your social and political situations, starting with Roe v. Wade, which, by the way, got overturned in late 2022. June 30th, I think, is when they did the thing they said there. So on June 30th, the Supreme Court's going to say 5-4, overturn Roe Wade. Okay. Number 4, Russia-Ukraine situation. And number 5, Joe Biden and the energy situation. Those are the top 5 that the European Alliance says. And it goes on to really ridicule, especially the President of the United States, for not doing anything on any of them. Especially the border, where he should have closed the border for 2 years and got his house in order. He didn't do that, according to the report. COVID-19, which killed a lot of people because they didn't bother to set up joint plants to clean the atmosphere of pollutants like COVID-19. It was started by China, but hey, nobody proved that, even in 2064. And the Chinese, well, they disintegrated themselves into different entities, north and south. So, well, Russia, it disintegrated after Putin's death in 2024, so they say. Well, so it says Putin died in 2024. After a disastrous World War III. That must have been interesting. But the main thing that they gripe at President Biden about in that report of August 31st, 2064 was the ineptness of the energy situation. Well, he knew, and a lot of world leaders at the time, they said, knew that fossil fuels were on the way out. They are out by 2064. The European Alliance uses ion power in 2064, okay? Rudimentary form of ion power. It's not enough to sustain them against Demushka. They get destroyed 2 years later. Because Demushka uses a high-powered version of ions plus nuclear fusion and antimatter. And they kind of overwhelm what was left of the powers on the earth at the time. But going back to President Biden on the energy situation, according to the report of 2064, the European alliance always asks, why didn't his administration, instead of banning everything and closing down the oil industries like he's doing and creating a havoc with the U.S. economy, along with the Russia Ukraine mess, they say he mishandled big time. Oh, and they also mentioned Afghanistan as a footnote, that that's the thing that caused the whole thing to go out of whack, so they say. Well, they said that he should have won. When he became president in 2021, he should have said oil is on the way out. And fossil fuels are on the way out, but we have to wait 30 years to do that. We also have to clean the environment by doing those plants that'll clean not only COVID-19, but the environment and make the weather a little better, because the weather gets worse, by the way. By 2064, you got hurricanes and weather problems you haven't seen yet. Okay? So they have to develop shields to protect their cities. They do that in the late 2030s, early 2040s. That's the only way they're going to do that. They have to develop energy that produces at least 100,000 terawatts. They do. They produce as much as 1 million terawatts. Yeah. That's pretty much power. I mean, 1 terawatt is 1 trillion watts, okay? Can you imagine 100,000 terawatts? My civilization produces 2 billion terawatts. And the Bushka produced 500 million. Enough to destroy this planet many times over. Yeah. Fun, huh? But then again, they lament the fact that the American president did not produce a thing like, okay, we need to have oil in exploration for the next 10 years. But the oil companies will have to be aware that in 30 years or 20 years after their big heydays of the 10 years, they are going to have to find another source of energy and do so accordingly and start planning now. Instead of giving them all this hard time and letting Russia and China and the other dominant people with oil create havocs all over the planet with shortages and economic upheaval, with gas prices up to $14 a gallon. Oh boy, that's as far as they're going to get? Oh, $14 a gallon, huh? So you see, Americans, I have this insight of seeing that report and seeing how critical the European alliance was towards the U.S. president, which was your last president, by the way. So this is my report today. You guys got those 5 items I noted before. You haven't done a thing about them. It's up to the U.S. Senate and hopefully the U.S. Supreme Court reverse their position on Roe Wade, because that's a disaster for the United States. It's going to disintegrate you in less than 2 years. And figure out, sure, Roe versus Wade is not a good policy, but it's what you got, so make it go. It's 30%. You haven't improved that since 1973. Look at it and make things to improve that, and go to the states and say, states, this is the way it is. This is the law of the land, and this is the way we're going to go. This is your favorite alien saying, until you do all these measures, Americans, you are a doomed species. Good day.